Hello, this is a Lighthouse Hall of Fame film from the European server. Congratulations to, let's see if I say this right, superellips in his AMX 1357 GF, his first entry into the Hall of Fame. And this comes into number 1 on the 1357 GF list. We're in Malinovka Standard Mode Southeast Spawn. So that means passive spotting if you can get to the aggressive spots. On this team, there's only, let's see, 1 scout apiece, 2 arty apiece. Lots of heavies at the tops of both lineups, not very many mediums. 2 mediums on each team, so we got a lot of heavies, a lot of TDs. This is a great time to try to go up to this forward bush because there's not a lot of fast tanks. Either to try to get to the same bush or to move up here before you can get in close. And TD started moving out into the middle, but he got killed before superellips got up here, so that doesn't impact him at all. Oh, and he gets spotted as he comes in because the medium made it up here. Anytime there's a tank up there, if you're not hitting it, they'll probably see you unless you're playing a tier 4 scout. So he's just choosing to back out. Too many eyes up there for him to play the peek-a-view spot coming up here. He's going to pull back to the least desirable of the bushes because they're the farthest away. Definitely worth a shot to try to go up there because there were only a couple tanks that were fast enough to go to a location that could counter him, and unfortunately one did, so he just backs up, finds a different spot that'll, well, it won't give him as many spots, it'll give him some. You have to adapt to what's going on in the battlefield. If they manage to take that medium out or drive him away, he may try to pull back forward. But he took 1 shot and he gets spotted again. So.
He can't focus.
And the 3485 dies. He may try to pull back up now because the guy that was spotting him is gone. He has 2 TDs sitting right here to try to take care of anybody that's left. They're starting to build a little bit of a lead. Got great position on the hill, and the enemy never countered the hill at all. So I think he's a little bit hesitant to pull all the way up because he's a 1-shot kill right now. He wants to make sure there's nobody there. Coast is clear, so off he goes. You know he has his fingers crossed right now, both hands. And it's too late. Not getting any spots there that other people aren't already getting. So he's going to move positions. Worth a try. But useless to his team if he just continues to sit there and not get any spots. So he's going to try to find a place that's more productive. Way far behind that bush, so he's allowed to shoot without any worry about being seen. Tiger 2 probably wouldn't have seen him even if he was sitting out in the open at that distance.
We didn't even scratch them. Penetration.
Finally, somebody else hits the Tiger 2. 3 tanks sitting there and one guy shot him one time. That's the kind of support he's been getting the whole fight, though. That's why they're behind the tank. Even though he hasn't been able to have that one great big spot where he's spotting half the team at once or more, but he's had constant fights and hasn't gotten great results. It's because the people behind him haven't been shooting. Partially because most of them went to positions where they couldn't shoot at what he was seeing. And I say that like they haven't really given him any support, but it may be surprising at the end of the battle how much support he actually ends up receiving. It's just it was not necessarily at the right time. So now it's Proxy time. He can't pull up any further until that 50T is dead or moved off. So you just stay here and try to stay within 50 meters and let somebody shoot him from up on the hill. The guy backed off, so now he has to pull forward or wait until that guy pulls back up like he just did. In this case, you actually want your sixth sense to go off, because that tells you that
Permission to engage.
close enough to sleep. If you're relying on a proxy spot, it's like if you see him, he sees you. So until your sixth sense goes off, you're not getting any assisted damage. Well, 3 seconds before that you would start. That's the indicator that you finally got the proxy spot on. It's your sixth sense going. So if your goal is to get in on the assisted damage, you want to get close enough to trigger that alarm. Which, by the way, if you don't know, most of you do. You have to be within 50 meters and then you automatically spot each other. That means when they say within 50 meters, That means at 50 meters, you will not see each other. At 49 meters, you will. I've tested this twice in the training room, and it's been the same both times. At 50 meters, you stay concealed. 49 meters, bingo, you see him. He sees you too. And they justify that, even if it's around a building or behind a wall or rocks or whatever, by saying it's the noise of the tank and environmental disturbance that you cause that reveals the position of each crew to each other. So here comes another position, and he finds another tank. Finds that 34-3. They just can't catch up in the fight. He's been giving them spots from God knows how many locations now, I've lost count, but they can't catch up.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
And as soon as they get a kill, just before they get a kill, the enemy team gets another kill. And now they're down 2 again.
Penetration.
Every time one of his teammates fire, they die. Which is strange, because they've had great positional advantage the entire fight. I can only guess that it's like these heavy tanks and TDs aren't taking advantage of natural resources to shield their fire. And so when they fire, they get lit up and they get killed. They should be ahead right now by a lot.
Enemy armor is hit.
Now the enemy 152 has crossed the middle ground. Lights up the T-28 prototype who is defending the south, and their artillery takes him out. So he has to drop back. He's watching the map. He has to drop back and go into defensive mode now. Because there's only artillery left to protect the cap, he has to drop back. The IS-3 is going to take a long time to get there, if he even decides to come back. Looks like he is. Like I said, if you don't already know, you're going to be amazed at how much spotting damage he gets on this. This is pretty much a crime that he can do this. I'll tell you right now, they don't win. Now there's a full TD assault. All the TDs are coming across the map. But it's perfect for him. He's in great position. He gets to get 2 kills here, probably on 1 clip, once they move forward. They're moving up here. He's going to wait until they get into a double push position like this. And he can try and take him out. He gets seen in. Not by those 2 tanks. He got seen from somebody else, so he moves right away. Already tried to take him out and missed. But guys, look at the clock. They're down 4 tanks to 5. But in under 35 seconds, they have to kill 5 tanks. It's not going to happen. It's also most likely going to be the case that the enemy team can't take them out. So we're looking at a 15-minute draw. Despite him doing everything he can to get spots to his team, this should have been over a couple minutes ago. His team's really letting him down.
That one bounced. We didn't penetrate their armor.
And there's the game. It's a draw. Now listen to this. The numbers start off mediocre, but wait till I get to assisted damage. 920 points of damage with 2 kills. 21 of 31 shooting, 68%. 9,361 spotting damage. I said that correctly. 9,361. And 9 spots, but a draw. Like I said, that's criminal. There's no way that should happen. This is the case where he got the spots he needed for his team to win, and just an amazing amount of assisted damage. Personally, he was involved in over 10,000 points of damage. But somehow they only draw. At least they didn't lose and make it totally devastating. But, you know, the way Wargaming does it, a draw counts as a loss, which I don't think is right. 83,597 credits in the bank, so at least he got a little bit of money out of it. Had 72 points of cap defense, survived the fight, got a patrol duty and a defender medal. Didn't get a scout medal because he didn't win, and fire for effect mini medal. Gets 2,386 XP, and that combines for a first place battle score of 2,441. Sometimes, no matter what you do, your team's just not up to the task of winning, and this is one of those times. He couldn't prod and push his team to win. He moved up here and got spotted, moved back here and spotted, moved back up here and got spots. Well, he didn't get spotted back here, it's just they cleared this area out, so he moved back up. And then he came down and he spotted up here, he spotted down here, he spotted up here. He went all over the map giving his team spots, and somehow they still lost. They just didn't want to win. They had awesome position on the hill the whole time, and they just totally squandered it. Never took advantage of the positions that they had. They were in charge of the fight the entire time and somehow lost. So you have games like that where all you can do the entire 15 minutes is keep doing your job and helping your team out, and just be aware that sometimes that's not going to work. He ends up with a monster mission and in the Hall of Fame with a draw, which really sucks for him because you know this score would have been crazy if he had won. There's nothing you can do. Sometimes you have teams that just let you down. All you can do is keep doing your job and hoping that at some point your team comes to life and pulls it out. Even down to the fact that when he was up here, he saw the TD move in, already takes out his TD. He knows immediately. He didn't hesitate. He dropped back right away on defense. Even the IS-3 tried to come back, which was good for him. So he did everything correctly the whole fight. It's the trouble with scouts. You can have some matches where because of the way it plays out, you can carry the match. But out of all the different tank classes, you are the most dependent on your team for success. Here, he gave his team every opportunity he could for them to win, and they just didn't have the skill to do it. So he has to settle for a draw. So all you can do is say, hey, I did my job well. Next time I'll have a team that'll help me out, and next time I'll win. And you go back out into battle and do it again. From Malinovka Standard Mode, Sugary Lips with a disappointing draw, but I'm sure he's just ready to go out and let his team win the next one with his help. Happy hunting.